when we launched third month, we did a video with a creator that went like 15 million views, and we ran out of inventory.
Wow.
Very
From these big giants to a startup, what were the key lessons that took you to? So
and the third part is we three founders, we never hesitate to reach out to anyone to ask for help.
so for you, what was the first aha moment that an entrepreneur faces when it started their business? In your living room, maybe it was a test shot or an early user telling you, "Wow, this is amazing! It's blowing my mind." Or what was it?
But the scale which Shark Tank brings is at a different level from a mindset point of view and from the actual format point of view.
So take us behind the scenes. How did you prep? What was the things that you did? You might have rephrased your pitch. You might have refined the pitch. Take us through that journey.
My suggestion to budding marketers: the power of storytelling can.
All right, welcome back, viewers, to another exciting episode of our podcast series, The Young Mavericks. And today we have Ranjit with us. So today you are gonna hear the conversation from a marketers to marketer perspective. Ranjit, first of all, how are you feeling today?
Good, good. Thanks for having me here. Really, really excited to share my journey, learn more from the conversation. Yeah, pretty
Your
excited.
journey is amazing, I will say. From Zivame, BankBazaar, MyGate, Aditya Birla Fashion, and now to your own company. It is crazy. The last time we had a conversation, I knew that this episode is gonna be amazing. So I'm pretty excited for this one.
Thanks, thanks, thanks.
So it's long since we had a chat last time, and I think considering the kind of experience you have in your journey, I won't be able to do justice to it. So why not you talk a bit about yourself so that our audience get to know about you, and then we can proceed ahead and get down to our marketing savvy questions.
Sure, sure. I mean, yeah. Thanks all. Thanks Anmol and team. Hi all. Pretty excited to be here. Just to briefly tell about my journey. By nature, profession was engineer at some point of time in my life. Done my BTech, joined L&T, was a design engineer for 1.5 year before doing MBA from my Bangalore. But at heart, still that engineering was there, and now the new company is anyways there. Had been lucky to be part of some of the great organizations in my career. From college, I was part of. I did management consulting for 1 year. Essentially, I wanted to do management consulting to make some money so that I could do some startup very early in my career.
I also relate to it. I started before starting my own company. I was working with different organizations just to save some money and
Yeah,
get this started. So I relate to it.
yeah. I mean that journey. I think a lot of entrepreneurs go through.
Yeah.
Make some money so that you can.
And the previous organization, they used to surely think that this guy, he is here for temporary and gonna start his own company. And I made at some point I told them that, hey, in long term plan, I'm not gonna be with you. Just
Yeah,
understand that.
correct, correct. So, back in days, it was pretty early. We also had e-commerce uh, back in 2010, 11 types, very early into the market. Maybe, and we tried to do too many categories at that point of time. Ran it for 2 3 years, but somehow did not work out. Then that's the time, and at that startup, I was handling multiple things, right from operations, marketing, and also the delivery part and some part of the category management. Uh, then after that, that worked well. We were doing 2 3 cr per year kind of thing, but some of the metrics and the way we wanted to kind of shape it up, that was kind of not happening, and we thought that maybe it's the time to kind of take a break and see in career what we want to do. At that company, what I really liked was my understanding about marketing, the consumer insights, the way to sell a product, to way do the storytelling. That part really, really kind of stuck to me, and then I thought, why don't I make a career in marketing? And especially, I'm good at numbers. I mean, and also good at understanding some of the key insights. So that is when the my journey started as a marketing. I joined Zivame in the marketing team. Had a great experience over there. There I joined iQuantai. So iQuantai does marketing for Fortune 500 companies. I was handling Amex and Citibank account. Uh,
Wow.
Again, excellent exposure because by then the US market, 2015-16 was far advanced. Now India market has anyways captured in terms of digital analytics and other formats. But it was great learning for me. The level of marketing, the level of thought process, working with those teams shaped my career really, really well. After that, I joined Aditya Birla Fashion. I was heading the entire growth and analytics over there. Again, great experience, and this is the first time there was a real elevation in what I was doing. I mean, over there, almost was handling 7 to 10 crores of business per month. Uh, and the way that the commerce work or e-commerce works is that the marketing has to be the pivot across multiple functions. Uh, Great learning for me, both from an individual point of view, from a company point of view. After that, I joined BankBazaar. BankBazaar is when I met my friends who are my partners now at MetaShot.
Wow.
We used to play a lot of cricket. I mean, every
Your journey is totally interesting. Engineer turned marketer turned entrepreneur, and then
yeah,
in between that, you meet your founders.
correct. And pretty. I mean, lucky to have that journey. I mean, if I have to relive my life, relive maybe 100 times. That's
Wow.
the that's the kind of journey I had. Great friends. I mean, we three are great friends, and two things really bonded us well was cricket and obviously the kind of personalities we were. And the other two people and really bonded well. And before actually we started Metashot, we had another passion project called GR8, which was into tennis ball cricket.
Okay.
Yeah, we thought that in India, tennis ball cricket is almost 100 times bigger than the actual season ball cricket, and there was no brand in that. And it's a great space for us to create a brand. While we were at job, we were good at marketing and design. We made a very good looking bats, launched it. We had a small setup at Mirror. It became bestsellers on Amazon and Flipkart within 2 3 months.
Wow.
Really went well till COVID hit.
Yeah.
Things went way off, uh, and because anything which has to do with physical didn't work out. But while we started GR8 from Bank Bazaar, I had moved to MyGate. I was heading marketing, the entire marketing
So
at
all
MyGate.
of the other companies, they were giants. MyGate would have been that time a startup, right? Or
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
So MyGate, when I joined, they were at 2,000 societies. But by the time I left, it was like a big name. So
Nice.
it was almost 25 to 30,000 societies, and pretty much the household name, at least for the large societies. I've seen that journey.
From these big giants to a startup, what were the key lessons that took you to? So I want you to answer that after you tell this. Key lessons that made you go into building the company that you are in, MetaShot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll cover. Happy to cover that.
Yeah.
MyGate was an excellent journey. I mean, journeys which I had. I mean, what we are doing at MetaShot, actually, the journey I had and some of my partners had through their career is really, really helping. A lot of places I have gone through the journey of building from 0 to 1, 1 to 100, and much bigger than 100. And we understand the importance of each of the uh, verticals, personalities, the way teams work, process works, the way storytelling works, and the importance of numbers. So all these things really kind of helped us in what we are doing now. Maybe I'll elaborate a little more on how things are shaped up. But like you said, maybe born engineer, born design engineer, then eventually now a marketer and entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Uh, and my life was MyGate was very comfortable. We were growing very good. Company is still doing pretty good. Really admire that company, the way they're shaping up and creating the category. And the founders were really supportive for me to do what I'm doing now. I mean, very heartening to see the Indian ecosystem and the founders who have been successful to pull and help new founders. They're still my mentors. Like, anything, still fall back to them. But like I said, my varied journey from design engineer to growth engineer to head of marketing, seeing the phases of companies growing leaps and bounds. So that really has kind of helped in shaping of the company MetaShot. So MetaShot is essentially, as you know, it's a hardware-based game. Technology where you can play cricket at home, and eventually we are planning a lot more things we'll cover later in the show. But fundamentally what we realized, two or three things which are very fundamental was, though we were building a technology company, we wanted to have a very uh, transparent culture over here. It is people who build the companies. I mean, you may
Right.
have a great technology, you may have, but eventually you have to do a long run thing. You need to be very transparent, create the right culture for the people, and right challenges for them to kind of enjoy and thrive. So that is one. The second thing we also did was, numbers and finances were always the fundamentals to what we are doing, and so that, both from finance point of view, both from marketing numbers from point of view, game numbers point of view, that is something we really, it sounds little boring, but the detailing and in the boredom is what makes the company more stronger with every year. And the third part is, we three founders, we never hesitate to reach out to anyone to ask for help. And what we realized is, with a thriving Indian growth ecosystem, or the founding ecosystem, the startup ecosystem, there are a lot of people who have succeeded, want to help, but many times we don't approach them
Reach
to
out
kind
to
of,
them.
yeah. And we have seen that once you approach, they are very, very polite, and that also has really helped. And other things, yeah, obviously, when you start something beyond your I mean, in the late 30s, around 40s, you're a little more sane to do stuff.
Yeah, that is true. But by the way, you mentioned hardware and software. Most people, they just go with either software, they will go with either hardware. And your background, design engineer, turn marketer to entrepreneur. So
Yeah, yeah.
why MetaShot needed both physical and a software to run it? You have a physical product, you have a digital universe, I will say.
Correct. I mean, you rightly put. The way we approached was, we had an end goal in mind. We wanted to give an experience of playing cricket at home, and the genesis of the idea was COVID, because in COVID, a lot of people, us, were not able to go out. Not only we, like I said, we used to play a lot of cricket. A lot of our friends used to play a lot of cricket. But what we saw was, it's not a COVID problem. Essentially, once you start doing your job, you don't go and play. You don't get an infra, you don't get time. So it's a universal problem. COVID just kind of made it uh, come to the fore in some way. uh, so in our head, we were very clear on the output we want to give. We wanted to have uh, a hardware based output for people to play at home. So essentially, there is a technology in the hardware, and there is technology in the software, which has to come together to kind of, that made our journey very tough, if you ask
Yeah,
us.
for sure. I think so.
Because in India, luckily, India is a far advanced market on the software side, because
Yeah.
we have a lot of smart pens. But hardware side, India is still, we have seen India progress in the last 4 5 years, leaps and bounds. But compared to some of the other markets, we are still a way to catch up. But good to see that we are seeing the journey. We had a very I mean, almost took like 1.5 year to 2 years to make that hardware technology. And given that I come from electronics, one of my other partner comes from electronics, a lot of our friends are in electronics, that part was little easy because we understood the space. But for a founder, the biggest nightmare or challenge is the space they don't understand, and that is where they discover the real gold mine. So gaming is something, no, none of us were kind of knowing anything. But we knew that in our journey, that is something was very, very vital to our journey. And so we luckily came across a few people who are now part of the company, and who has helped us to kind of build it. But what, in the hindsight, what we see is, uh, hardware is a very different gaming is a very different game. Bringing together is a different
It's
strength.
a different scenario.
Yeah, it's a different strength altogether. There are a lot of moving parts on both the sides, and that has also given us a big moat in terms of, because a lot of people will be good at one part, not the other part. The way we are integrating the company is technically two companies kind of coming together and building an ecosystem. So that is also has given a big competitive edge in the hindsight to us.
Nice. Yeah, because I am working with somebody who is trying to build a 3D game, and I know it is so difficult. And then you bring hardware to it.
Yeah,
It goes to another level.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
So
yeah.
they what they did is they thought it's better to partner with somebody else. So they brought in that company. It's a very famous gaming company. They brought their hardware. They made their software, integrated it, and are launching it. So
Yeah.
that's it. So for you, what was the first aha moment that an entrepreneur faces when it started their business? In your living room, maybe it was a test shot or an early user telling you, "Wow, this is amazing! It's blowing my mind." Or what was it?
So now the bat looks much better. It has gone through a lot of journey. So in the initial part, we built the sensors were very crude, and we used to take the actual cricket bat, make holes in the cricket bat, and force
Oh,
fit the sensors, put tapes and other things. It failed multiple times, but then it started working. I mean, a few shots started working, and we have a good friend who is a known name in the VC circle. I just wanted to kind of get a view on top of it because we were so close to the product. Sometimes the founders are not appreciable of what they're building. It is only the third party when they experience, they know that something great is getting built. So we took the product to him, and then he started playing. At very early days, 5 6 shots were happening, many misses were happening, technology was, but whenever we saw that he was hitting the shots, the kind of joy in his face, that is the time which, like, yeah, this is something which, and this like that eureka moment for us, which happened. So happy, he was so happy. I mean, during that time, what was happening is, out of 10 shots, only 2 shots will be hitting, and you'll be missing 8. But the aha moment he got from the 2 shots made him play for 30 minutes just to
wow.
get. So, and that was a validation for us that if we build this right, uh, and we know that the technology at that point was at very nascent stage, uh, and if we build it right, and I'm luckily the journey has been good. Now we are seeing that aha moment happening in thousands of homes across India.
That sums it up. I think I should get one for my team. But then they will stop working. That's the problem. Anyways, you mentioned about venture capitalists. So, and also you went in front of millions, right? In
Yeah.
front of everybody on Shark Tank India. So, take us behind the scenes. How did you prep? You know, what was the things that you did? You maybe you might have rephrased your pitch. You might have refined the pitch. Take us through that journey.
Yeah, yeah, this is a once in a lifetime journey. I mean, life changing journeys of seeing things from a very different point of view. So typically, we as founders are very. Uh, I mean, not everyone is camera friendly. Generally, a little camera shy, uh, and that is a much bigger stage. So we are so comfortable going to investors or going to general users, talking to them, presenting them. Uh, but the scale which Shark Tank brings is at a different level from a mindset point of view and from the actual format point of view. So the way it happens is you land up there 3 days before, because there is a rehearsal which happens for the and the rehearsal happens only for the first 2.5 minutes. So we give the pitch, they make it little more TV friendly or Hindi audience friendly. The first 2 minutes where the founders come in and do that 2 minutes pitch. Only that is uh, where the team helps. It is still your content, but the team helps. And after that is the free flow of 2 hour. I mean, at least we had a 2 hours of journey. But what happened is, for the first time, we were coming in front of a large camera, so many people. What you see in the TV is just 5 people sitting. You don't see 40 cameramen who are there. So
Yeah.
it is that overwhelming, and there's a huge room. But luckily, what really helped us is, because we had a very strong grip on our what we were building, strong grip on the numbers, and a thought process on the technology and the way we wanted to shape out the first 5 years and 10 years. So that gave us a lot of confidence, and in fact, the real product demo which we did, that also really went well. uh, so we went in, the first 2 minutes of nervous energy was there, but we were well prepared. uh, and then there was some fumble by one of the partner, but that fumble added the spice to what we wanted to tell. But after that, it was really good conversation with the sharks on multiple different aspects, and touchwood, it really went well. The episode also came really well. I mean, that was really a great showcase of the brand on the national television.
Yeah, I think that's how we found you, and that is called the Shark Tank effect, and it is across the world. So,
Yeah.
what changed since the episode aired? The next day, what changed? For you when the Shark Tank
Few
effect?
things changed. Few things I'll not shy away from kind of telling. Few things changed. Few people started recognizing little more. And you have this typical college group, school group, WhatsApp groups, and all. So you just get a little elevated in those groups. Though friends are
Yeah,
friends, they don't bother if you're on Shark Tank or you're a millionaire. For them, you're just another guy. But
yeah.
yeah, a few things really changed. One thing internally which really changed is because we had showcased the product on such a big stage. The responsibility to make it even bigger, that burden really kind of, and in a positive way, that given that it's a made in India product, we showcased it to so many millions of people out, and we got a lot of positive feedback once it got aired. So that also kind of added a lot of burden to kind of really take this company forward in the right direction. Apart from little name and fame, people do recognize in the airport and take some photos. But yeah.
That's good. Next time when I meet you, I will click a picture and take post it on LinkedIn. So, by the way, be honest, okay, about this. So, did you got any advice while you were at the Shark Tank episode, and inside you were like, that does not make any sense to me.
Yeah, I'll try and keep the answer diplomatic. Yes and
Of
no.
course,
So,
we understand.
so we had a fairly great interaction with all the people. I mean, we got a lot of positive remarks from almost all the five sharks, Aman, Piyush, everyone. uh, and eventually we got offer from three people. Anupam and Vinita, they were pretty much aligned to what we are doing. In fact, we went with an ask of 80 lakhs. They liked the what we are doing so much that it went to 1. The funding we got was 1.6 lakhs. It doubled on this part, and that was also really a good validation on this part that probably we are doing something great. Uh, while the final steps were happening, Anupam and Vinita were pretty aligned to what we are doing. However, Piyush, who is a great, we admire him greatly for what he has done in technology and in general for Indian ecosystem. He wanted us to kind of pivot to we are in AR space, so we don't need any device. But he wanted the funding with a rider that it should be compatible to the lens and eyewear.
Oh,
We were very clear because in our mind we know our journey for the next 10 years, and we don't want any deviation in the plan, in the plan. So we had to politely say Piyush no, because of the non-alignment of the idea. But yeah, I mean, that I it is a good viewpoint. It is a good viewpoint from where he's coming. Because in the long run, when the VR and other things becomes more accessible, plans to be there. It's not that we are not plans to be there, but given the journey where we were,
with the
we
current market as well, I think
yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, we definitely know for the next 5-10 years what we're building will is has a great scope. I mean, probably we are at 1% of 100% achievement of what potential achievement we can do. So we had to kind of politely tell Piyush no, and move with the other two.
Got it. Any movement that you think could have been something could have been done different, you would like to replay?
In Shark Tank, yeah, because in Shark Tank, what happens is a lot of things happen in spontaneity, and you would have probably prepared for 10 things, but given that there are five smart people who are sitting out there, and they understand numbers, they understand business, they throw in a lot of scenarios. Uh, Most of the, I think, 90-95% of the questions which were asked, we had ready answers. We had ready answers with a lot of viewpoints and thought process of why, what, and all. Maybe, like I said, in the due to the lack of time, and we were not able to take Piyush offer, but would have definitely would have loved to have little more longer chat with him to understand, because the time which you get on the Shark Tank is very limited. You have to take a decision, not take a decision, but and you don't have a luxury to have some of the larger discussions which you would love to have with a tech founder. And Piyush is a great tech founder. Probably we would have we could have had the conversations a little different and got him also on board. That is something which probably was a I mean mischance.
Got it. That's very interesting. So, as you mentioned about the next 10 years, and talking about the current scenario, most gaming startups today, specifically in India right now, are building mobile apps or console games. And you saw the white space
Correct.
in metaphysical world. So, how do you see it evolving in the next 10 years? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah. I think rightly you put, and that's how we see. We So there are two extremes to the way the gaming world is kind of is pure mobile gaming, or you have console gaming. And the way the Indian market is, console gaming is still like 0.001% of the market.
Yeah,
Is there? A lot of people aspire to have that, and then there is a lot of mobile games which are there, free to play, premium, and paid. What we and while we were developing, coming back to the MetaShot, while we were developing, we were very sure. I mean, we had kept a internal target that if we are not able to make the product at sell the product at 5,000, we'll not start the company. So that's the because there was no point starting a company which is not made for India.
right.
Uh, so and
That is
that
good.
uh, so that took us through a lot of strenuous journey, because the technology was not existing. We had to build the technology, and thankfully we have also filed patent for the technology in India and multiple countries. But that forced us to kind of look at technology at a very different way, evaluate options, uh, and figure out options, and eventually were able to kind of make the product at what money we want. But while we were doing this, what we realized is, and we almost kind of met 500 to 600 different beta tester to understand their sentiment, uh, their emotion to buy such a product. So there was a huge space, like I was saying, in India, probably the top 0.01% owns a console, but
Console.
there's a next 10% who would have wanted to have such kind of product. And what we and that is a huge if I were to take a typical blue ocean strategy.
Yeah, I think that there is a big gap. PS5 costs 50,000 rupees.
50 and we are 5.
You're fine.
So and that so we wanted to build for the next 10%, and that's the way we are looking at, and that's the white space we are looking at. From a journey point of view, we wanted to start with cricket, because India is cricket, cricket is India. I mean, there's no two way about it. And we wanted to have a very strong storyline branding, and if you the first product looks like cricket bat, so that from a but eventually, while we were developing the technology, we clearly understand it can be used for multiple other products, like tennis, any handle product, tennis, pickleball, golf, uh, baseball, and many such. In fact, we are in process to kind of launch pickleball in 3 4 months period of time,
Wow.
focusing on
We will talk about that in
yeah,
detail.
yeah. So there has been journey. There has been journey. There is a huge white space we kind of found from a physical gaming at home point of view. And in fact, our tagline is bringing joy of physical sports at home. So that kind of sums up what we are trying to do from a long term point of view. Just one sports now. At some point in time, it will be multiple sports.
Nice. So, how do you see MetaShot evolving? Coming back to the conversation you were having with Piyush, AR goggles, stadium style competition, or full body gear? What it is? What
No,
are your thoughts?
yeah. So we want to become a mass platform. I'm very similar to what a PlayStation or a Nintendo does. You have a platform, and there are a lot of games for you to kind of
Yeah,
select. So we want to become a mass platform where the technology which we are building kind of makes it mass accessible, and on which we will build few games, and then the game studios can start building games on top of it. uh, we and There are a few theses which we have to keep it simple, and keep it for the mass market, and keep the games and products very relatable. So our fundamentals will always remain around that. But having said that, if at some point of time your VR becomes cheap, or some of the other technology will become cheap, we will be there. So anything which enables to take the game to a larger section of the audience, we want to be there. That's our long term goal.
That's good. So you started with tennis, you moved to cricket, now you are moving to pickleball, and then you will be moving to anything that has a handle. But
Yeah. And
have you thought of ever expanding beyond that?
so uh, there are multiple ways to look at it, multiple ways to look at it from the sports point of view. One is obviously there are things like bowling, football, and all. But what we see is that from a concept point of view, that you want to kind of play the game at home, and when you tell playing game at home, generally it is the any handheld game is what you can do.
Yep.
uh, some of the football,
Else your
the
mom
good.
is gonna kick you out of the home.
Yeah, yeah.
As simple
But
as
like
that.
games like football, you cannot do. I mean, that experience will never come. But games like baseball, cricket, golf, everything you can be able to do with a device. Similarly, not only the serious games, we also have plans to kind of get into the hyper casual games like Fruit Ninja, sword fighting, rowing, and that option, once you get into hyper casual games, infinite number of games can be built. So we are want to build something which can be easily played at home with family, friends, and also you can connect with anyone at different cities for real time gaming. That which we have already on MetaShot. If anyone is there in London in the night, we are at India in the day. You can connect and start playing real time with them. So community playing at home, fun entertainment space is where our fundamental blocks lies, and we will be layering on top of it.
Got it. That's a very good answer. Now, you mentioned London, you mentioned other locations, so that requires scale.
Yeah,
Your product is going to so many people. And talking about your previous experiences, you were working with India's tops basically.
yeah.
So there you were helping them market, you were scaling them. Now, when it come to MetaShot, did you use performance marketing or you use something else? What you did different when you launched MetaShot as a product?
Yeah, it's a good question. Good question. I think I'll share my experience and what we did, and we are seeing a lot of benefit out of it. So historically, I have been part of e-commerce where performance marketing is the thing. Meta, Google, and all they play a big role. Uh, but what and I have we have a lot of friends in the D2C space, commerce space, in the space to understand what is the role of different types of marketing play in the long term journey. What we realize is, though the metas of the world, the Instagram, Facebook, Google, will remain because they play a big role in the way content is consumed. And but what we realize is that over realization of those platforms will be hampering us from a economics point of view, because the more we grow on those platforms, or more we want to grow on those platforms, some of the economics of at scale may not work out.
Yep, that's
uh,
true.
and the other benefit which we had was, while we were at this companies, and I keep a track of a lot of the other companies, what they do, what the especially what different they do, not the standard one. And we realized as that we want to build the company on content. That is the fundamental to. There are two reasons why we wanted to do that. Is we are good in storytelling. Good in storytelling. The second part is, because it is cricket, and we deliberately started with cricket. In India, especially, it is easy to tell a lot of stories around cricket because it fits into our household.
Correct.
uh, and till date, I mean, in fact, when we launched the third month, we did a video with a creator that went like 15 million views. There were so many, and we ran out of inventory because we had built
Wow.
very less inventory. We were getting calls left, right, center, when the product will come, when can I get it. So that's a good problem to have, but that also gives us a lot of confidence that this is the path we want to take. Every month, so roughly 50% or more of our budget goes into content, and every month we have a lot of videos going into millions of views, and it doesn't go millions of views just because of it, because we put a lot of effort to build the content, to understand the creator in space in which they are doing the content, and then we kind of do something which is aligned to the creator and their audience. And that so we used to do nano, micro kind of thing. Now we started doing it larger content
My
there. But uh, two things which has really differentiated is because we took this approach, the product was able to showcase in a much better way, and it appeared non-salesy. The other benefit, which I mean we had anticipated, and now it is kind of shaping up. The more we are building your product awareness and through content, the brand buildup becomes very very strong, because there is a lot of authenticity in the way you are kind of creating the awareness, and we are seeing the benefit out of it.
That's very good. That's something insightful. And yeah, so one thing that we are so the core business at Crobstacle that we do is it is into services. And whenever a customer comes specifically in the e-commerce or D2C space, my first question is what is your short-term goal and what is your long-term goal? And nobody wants to keep burning their money forever.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
That's
what
not,
people
that's
like
never
about
ending fun.
us. That's what people like about. We tell them the reality. See, you want to go in the short run goal, you burn you, but you have to go with the growth engine. You have to build something in the longer run. But
Yeah,
then you know most people they don't understand the longevity and they just want short term gains, and that's where the things go with. So
correct,
this is
correct.
a history, and there is a case study coming up. I will share that with you as well. Maybe
Sure.
you can share your insights. So it's about this thing only. So now talking about what was your MVP growth stack while in the initial days, what channel worked at that time, what flopped, and what surprised you the most? Because the audience that is watching right now is mostly startup founders and entrepreneurs.
Right,
So most of them, I think they will be somewhere between MVP or early startup ages.
right,
So
right.
let's talk to them now on this.
Yeah. So here, what at least we had it was, because we worked in a lot of kind of bigger matured startups. We had seen the journey. There are certain patterns we had seen really really worked for companies who had done good MVP launch. One, and some of the things we did also really kind of adopted. One was do a focused launch. Don't do launch across the. I mean, certainly don't launch for India. It doesn't work out. So do a very focused launch. So we only launched in Bangalore. When we launched, because we knew there is a hardware, we wanted to get more feedback, and we all three stay here, so we can immediately go to someone's home, some customer's home, to understand if they're facing some. The second one is, from a channel point of view, don't spend on multiple channels, because uh, you will be running thin on across channels, and then you'll not be able to understand what happened from an analytic point of view and from an impact point of view. So we've selected very few channels. We had from a paid Instagram we had, and from a content we had YouTube Reels or Instagram Reels only, and that too we focused only on Bangalore creators, just to understand the impact. Uh, and then we had the third one, which we had was, because we were doing locally, we also did some testing on the price points, because sometimes what the customer, we founders think this is what price the customer has to pay, but customer has a different price point in their band. So that pricing discovery also we did. So to summarize, have a very focused approach, take a specific location. Even if you are having a very localized product, take a very specific area in your big city. Do your marketing awareness, everything over there, because it is the founder who has to build a playbook of scale. For that to happen, they have to understand everything at a very concentrated way, and then the playbook can be built for the team to take it to a much larger scale. And that has really really from a surprise point of view, we thought to build a company on content. We did not know that content will really push us so good that we'll be out of inventory, scampering to get the next lot of production.
That's a very good problem that you face.
Yeah,
I hope all the startup founders face this
yeah, my
problem. You are
best
not
wishes to all.
yeah. So what's one digital marketing myth you want every D2C founder to know about, that you
Yeah,
want them to unlearn?
yeah. One thing, I mean, this is a little ingrained, especially people like me who has worked in commerce and all. Digital marketing to a bigger extent has kind of gone to uh, thought that it's only about informing about offers and sales, and that has kind of killed the essentially the strength of the digital as a platform. So if you ask a lot of current digital marketers, for them digital marketing is sales offers, creatives which are sales offers, and bombard. No one, not no one, I mean there are a lot of good folks also, but the power of storytelling within the creative, be it static or be it video or any other format, because what hits the customer is the emotion and the uh, product value. The moment you start keep on putting your product across a price point, you'll become a I mean you'll become a commodity rather than
Commodity.
so my suggestion to budding marketers and people who want, the power of storytelling can never fail. And historically, if you see a lot of big brands which are there, they tell the story in a way that people connect and then they pay the premium. So don't fall into the trap of positioning your product as a discounted product. Instead, build stories which will make your product as a value product.
And maybe I can say, not every person is your customer. Find the right customer.
Yeah, or maybe I'll just modify it. Not every person is a your customer, but every person may have a need. Give them the need.
Give them the need. Yeah, that is also good.
Yeah,
That's nice. So, do you consider MetaShot a sports brand, a gaming brand, or something entirely new? How would you place
we
it?
are very clear. We are a fun brand. We are an
Fun
entertainment
brand.
brand. We There are multiple paths which we could have taken. We could have always taken a coaching as a path, skill improvement as a path. But what we realized is, with so many things happening in life, you have job, you have school, uh, uh, and this device does multiple things, and we are seeing that in real life is families coming together and playing, moms coming and kind of interacting and playing. At some point of time, once the son grows big, moms find it difficult to have a co-activity. So this
Yeah.
is then friends coming together and playing. And one of the reason also we have built multiplayer is that if let's say you are in Delhi, Bombay, and we used to play back in days, so we can connect and play really well. So anything which brings together people for fun, entertainment, we are in that space. Fun entertainment product. You buy MetaShot, you have some great time. That's what we are. We will bring a lot of modules within the game, which will make the fun quotient more, the bonding more, and that's the zone. And if you see, a lot of our content is around that. It's around fun, emotions, family, friends, connectivity. That's this ecosystem under which we can kind of work.
That's a very interesting way to position. In my head, it was like you would have positioned like a gaming, but fun is like, I think, very interesting.
Yeah. So
So,
I mean, sometimes we just tell that whom are we competing? We are probably competing against the reels and short videos, to take that time slot and make people little active.
yeah, exactly. I was reading this book actually, and that book said attention is the most expensive currency in the current world.
Yeah.
So I think you have really well capitalized on it. Now, talking about capital, hardware startups are often capital heavy and tough to scale. What were some hidden operational nightmares for you, and how did you solve them?
Yeah, I mean, hardware is expensive, and that's one of the reason why our personal view we have seen that hardware was finding tough in India is because the initial investment and the kind of patience one needs to have with hardware development is much longer than a game development, because game, there's the skill in both the side, but game you have output at a much faster rate. Hardware takes its own iteration. Luckily, what happened is we got this idea to build a concept way back in 2021, and all three of us were at job. And what we wanted to do is fund the product. Interestingly, in India, early hardware backing is little, it was little low. We are seeing a lot of changes, but we knew that and given that technology was not existing, we had to build the technology. So because we were working fairly decent jobs we had, so we were funding it in parallel, working with a lot of partners, because we wanted uh, it to have a decent shot in development. uh, like I said, the development cycle for a hardware versus a software is very different. Software has a faster cycle. Hardware probably takes years. So we needed to have a patient capital, and the only patient capital which can come is self funding. so,
Correct.
so
That is true.
so there is, some of the bootstrapping companies are, on a height side and on a joke, are more happier than the funded companies, because you you can run your own show.
Yeah,
But that's the way we kind of figured out that three of us have to fund it for a long period of time. It took almost 1.5 to 2 years to fund it, and to kind of get the technology. And once we got the technology, getting capital was much more easier.
that's good. So, what's your so since you started MetaShot, you launched it in the market. What's your biggest insight about Indian gamers or cricket lovers that the world misses?
Yeah, so one is, and this is the thesis on which we also build our product is. So in India, there are typical age cycle which happens. So you start playing from, let's say, 6, 7 till your college time you play, or engineering you play, or medical, or whatever profession. Then once you start doing job, barely 2 or 3% of the people play cricket. They have their friend circle, but a lot of the people, at least all of us would have played cricket in our lifetime, enjoyed
Yeah,
the time with our friends. But once you start doing
that's why
job,
we say college was good.
yeah, college is like, there is no replacement for college.
Yeah,
So, uh, so we have gone through that journey, and we know that even when we are in 20s, late 20s, 30s, and we have spoken with people who are in 40s, everyone is associated with cricket, and everyone loves to and still remembers during school or college days some of the good shots they would have hit, some of the great innings they would have played, some of the fun times. So because of the lack of any alternative, uh, we end up seeing cricket, we because that's the closest we relate to the cricket, seeing on the TV. What we wanted to do is, can we and this is the thesis on which we built, can we make cricket accessible to the people who are not able to play cricket? And that the audience is very big. Imagine, from 23, 24 to like 60, there's a huge audience who would have played cricket and now not been able to play cricket.
yeah, I'm one
So
of them.
yeah, and that's that USP really working. Nostalgia, I mean, to hold the bat, to swing the bat. There are a lot of adults in us. When we see people playing cricket, we want to be part of it.
Yeah, for
But
last, I just realized while you were talking, for since 2020 when I started my own company, I haven't held a bat in my hand.
yeah, and today, if you go and hold the bat in your hand, the feel is so dreamy. The feel is
Yeah,
so, and everyone wants to have that feel. So that's the reason also, the hidden need to be associated with cricket, to play cricket, even the adults or the larger. That was really a great discovery. We knew that it was there, but the way they have come and embraced, taking the product, playing the product, a lot of them share their feedback in terms of videos or in written notes of how happy they are. So that is really a discovery for us. The second discovery obviously is that, uh, historically, when we started also, India was never considered as a great place to start hardware as a company because of the ecosystem, not many successes. That is a myth. We did not start the company to break the myth, but we definitely did not believe in that myth, because otherwise we would have never started. We went through ups and downs, but given now we have almost sold 60, 70,000 bats, selling 4, 5,000 per month, fairly now confident that the ecosystem, the myth that India cannot be a hardware giant, is no longer there. It's just that we need to have patience and the right approach to make it happen.
I was at the AI summit, and very good thing that they said we had done very well in software, but as a services hub,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
not as a creator hub. Now in the AI world, we need to be the creators.
yeah.
So hats off to you. Good job. Now let's do a rapid fire.
Sure, sure.
All the questions that I had are over. So let's, uh, you just answer very shortly. It's a rapid fire. Okay, motion gaming or VR?
Motion gaming anytime.
That's right. Shark Tank or Y Combinator?
Tough one, given that we were at Shark Tank, and Shark Tank gave some fame, so Shark Tank.
Shark. Nice. MetaShot in 2030. IPO acquisition or still founder led?
We want to. Our dream is to become a big company, founder led. 2030.
Nice. I like it. You're not in the game for just to sell the company.
Yeah, yeah.
One marketing guru who truly changed how you think.
Piyush Pandey, sadly he's no more, but I have been a following right from the time I knew marketing, the way he does storytelling, and that's lot of principles. My one of my founder is from Ogilvy, that also helps. So lot of uh, understanding the smaller nuances and making the product, like I said, you make the product as a need, not
Yeah.
a product to sell. That really works. So Piyush Pandey has always been my uh, I mean mental mentor in terms of I
Nice.
was lucky to meet him also once.
Wow,
I spent a couple of hours at his home. I still kind of cherish the time, the 2 hours I spent with him.
that's amazing. Now, last question. And it's a very interesting one that it's a case. So, if you had to launch MetaShot today in 2026 with only 10 lakh you have in your savings and no Shark Tank, no founders, what would be your exact moves that you would take to launch it?
Yeah. I think good. Sometimes we do put internally ourselves in such kind of spots to kind of think differently. Uh, Little hindsight, because we have seen so much success at different areas, so probably I'll use that. So with 10 lakh is not a good is not a is actually a very good amount for, now to kind of take Metashot to a different zone. What we realized, and this is mostly hindsight learning, that lot of creators who work for like 20K 30K, excellent at making content. uh, I'll bet my 9 out of 10 lakh on those guys to give me the first kick. And we know the framework, we know the storyline. So 10 lakh is a good amount for me to kind of launch MetaShot now. I probably don't need more cash. Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. I think this is one of the best episodes I've done. I also enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, same here. Lovely speaking
On
with you.
that note, my questions are over, Ranjit. Would you like to say anything to our audience before I go back to my line and tell to them?
No, one, I think thanks for hosting and kind of understanding and knowing a bit more around Metashot and me as a person. Uh, and I'm sure that a lot of startup founders, enthusiasts, they watch this program. One couple of advice is that uh, India is kind of growing leaps and bounds in the support system for any startups. We have seen that journey. So if you have a great idea, great execution, and determination, uh, is a path to kind of just start something. Second one is, don't shy shy from asking. A lot of times, we Indians as a culturally have been very shy and timid, which doesn't work for us. But what we have seen, that the once you break that shackles, we have so much of helping hands around. They can really help. And third one is, never give up. Success is always around the corner.
That those three are the golden rules. And on that note, thank you, Ranjit, for coming to this episode. Thank you for our audience who watched the episode till here. If you have any questions, let us know. Put them down in the comment section. I will put Ranjit's profile. You can reach out to him if you need any help. You are in gaming, or you can give me the questions. I can reach out to him and get back to you. And on that note, thank you once again. And we will be back soon with another exciting episode on our podcast series, The Young Mavericks. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me. Bye.